Welcome to the Christmas season of Entrepreneurs Talk Africa. I'm Mark Israel, co-founder and CEO of the Talk Collective, the company behind Entrepreneurs Talk Africa, and the producer of this new season. In this exceptional video format, you'll have the opportunity to meet entrepreneurs and startups from Mauritius. Those stories we're recording during the Xmas Bazaar that another startup, Katapult, organized after being turned away by many organizers of Christmas markets. Showing resilience and taking an MVP approach, Hicham and Mary, the co-founders of Katapult, decided to do their own version of the Christmas market. We could not be part of this incredible story. We met 5 companies and startups to learn from about their unique stories and how they fared 2020. Those are their stories, unplugged and almost unedited. Enjoy.
Hi, and welcome to the Xmas Bazaar, and I'm here joined by Jade from Katapult. Welcome, Jade. How are you?
Hello, Jason. I'm glad to be here.
Good. So, Jade, for our listeners and viewers, do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Hello, I'm Jade. I'm the founder of Katapult, a startup in EdTech. So we do workshops and kits based on STEAM, and STEAM means science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And today we're at the Xmas Bazaar promoting our new kit called Squishy Circuits, where children between 4 and 10 can learn about circuits and electricity with Play-Doh and slime.
Great. Yeah, I've seen a couple of kids already enjoying it. Looks like they're having a good time. And so why do you think it's important for them to learn more about, like you say, science, technology? Why do you think it's so important at a young age to get them involved in this?
Really, it's to shape the way that they think and to be able to get a critical mindset and be problem solvers, and at the same time be empowered with skills to prepare them for the future careers, which will be revolved around technology. And with this kit, really, we want to prepare them to go into much complicated stuff later on, like robotics, where they will have a better sense of what circuits are right from a young age, and they are not intimidated by it later on.
Great, yeah, and I can tell, from myself as an entrepreneur and you as well, problem solving is one of those key skills that it doesn't matter what industry you're in or what profession you take, having that ability to problem solve is so key in moving forward, yeah. Great. So, do you want to tell us a bit more about your startup and your journey so far? I know you started roughly around 2 years ago, so how's the journey been?
It's been really interesting, actually. It's been like a learning curve right from the start. I've learned so much through this journey. It's been about 2 years now. I think I've progressed from someone who didn't really know how to address a business from someone now who has a good sense of what I want to do within the next 5 years. Wow. And should I tell you more about what I've learned?
Please do, yeah.
I think, no, I don't know what to say.
There's so much. I feel like, as an entrepreneur, you learn every day and you keep learning. It's never stops. So, I mean, we could maybe have like 3 hours of learning. But what we find is quite interesting is we almost learn more from our failures than our successes. So maybe if you want to share one of the failures you've learned from within your business journey to help some of the entrepreneurs out there.
So I've recently had this experience, and I think it's good to share with others who are also on this path. So I was desperately in need of someone to help me in the business, and I hired someone without going through a hiring process. And I thought, this person seems great, this person seems like they can do the job, so I just hired this person. And I think it's very emotional and very costly to do that. Because at the end of the day I had to let this person go, and it has been tough, just the process of it. And what I would say is don't do that. Go through like a rigorous hiring process to really establish whether this person can actually do the job, and put in place tests and assessment to know whether this person is fit for the job.
Yeah, that's so true, having that structure behind it and getting that, those gates that they go through in order to get the job. Yeah. So, I mean, it's all, like you say, it's a continuous learning, and we're always learning. So this is something that, it's really good to share with our audience there who need to understand that even though you are the owner, you make all the decisions, some of those structural aspects are so important to include when you're looking at business. But I know that you've done a lot of success recently, and it's been going very well for you at Katapult. But how have you dealt with the COVID crisis? Because with schools locked down, I know with your kids that you were very present at after-school clubs and things. How has that affected you?
So I've learned to like pivot really quickly. Like I think like every other business every other business that exists. And what we did during lockdown is we had our courses online, and we quickly migrated to an online platform where we proposed a blended learning style where children could watch videos and do a bit of self-paced learning, but then we would check in with them on live video calls every now and then. We also sold our kit through an e-commerce that people could get it at home and delivered to them. And this is basically how we've dealt with that. And it was a tough transition for our customers because the kids are not used to this kind of learning, and they are not used to necessarily the platform or the interface or the devices. But we did the best we could and really accompanied them through this journey, and we were there to help them.
Yeah, that's great. And for, with myself being in the edtech space as well, and some of the viewers who might be out there that are not so aware, I love that term, and I think it's so important, that blended learning. I think that is the new way that we're going to be learning. It's a mix of having digital and online presence and classes, as well as some physical aspects, maybe your kits and things. And I think this is definitely a new area that's evolved in the edtech space, and I think it's something that we will see a lot more in the future, especially within schools and things like that. And then in terms of that pivot, you talk about being able to pivot, and I think that's essential to stay alive in this climate. And if you're not able to pivot, it can become very difficult. Did you face any difficulties while you were pivoting? Was there any things in particular that you faced?
I think when you're trying to pivot, I think it's a process. The people on your team don't learn to just switch gears like that, and but luckily we're a small team, right? So it's easier to gear the ship and like go in a different direction, right? But I think it's about preparing everyone. For me personally, I'm not too attached to an idea or to something. I'm very easy, like for me, to pivot. But when you're working as part of a team, it's essential that you make sure that everyone is on board with the mission. And at the end of the day, it's the mission that counts. And the way that we get there will change over time.
Yeah, there's some wide words, and I feel I'm slightly different. I do get slightly too attached to ideas, but like you say, using that analogy of the ship, we have an advantage as small ships where we are able to turn and adjust quickly, rather than some of the bigger companies that it takes a long time to turn. So we can almost see that as an advantage as a startup in this climate where we're able to adjust quickly. But you make a really important point there, which is you need to get your team on board, and having your team's buy-in is really important. Otherwise they feel like, oh, we just worked on this and now we're moving that. How did you keep your team motivated and keep them with your mission and your vision?
I think one of the main things I think is when we see the results in the kids and the way that they engage with our workshop is a big like indicator of how we're doing and how, I guess, closer we're getting every day, little bit by little, to our mission, which is to empower the next generation of change makers. And just seeing that, I think, is one very important factor, that we can see the end result of our work. And then also frequently checking in on them and seeing whether they are aligned with this and whether they're okay, and really creating a collaboration space where everyone can chip in and say what they think.
Yeah, and feel valued and get their ideas out there. No, that's really true, and I think you've done a really good job. I know a lot of you're getting traction online now, and with your online kits, as well as your virtual boot camps and things. So what do you see the future holding for you? Do you see doing much more online presence, or will you go back to more of a physical?
I think to me, like we said before, I think to me the future is in blended learning. So we have to accommodate a bit of self-paced learning with live learning, or like where we check in physical locations, and really blend the two really, and still have the platform, but have like events, workshops where we do physical things, and have the kits where children can really interact, and have videos maybe on the screen, but also that they can go at their own pace.
Yeah, that's true. It's a great substitute and it's a great addition, but it has to be in conjunction with the physical as well. So that's great. So what does the future hold for Jade and Catapult in the next 5 years coming? What are you hoping to achieve?
So right now my focus is on growing our customer base and really scaling what we have right now. And so I'm about to start this journey, and really within the next 6 months I'm really laying out the plan for the next 5 years and really building the strategy and the plan for it. And that's the biggest work I'm doing right now.
That's great. Well, that's some important work. Well, thank you so much. And just before we leave, I was going to ask you, what advice would you give to yourself maybe 2 years ago, or any other aspiring entrepreneur? What advice would you give to them now in this climate?
For me, the biggest thing would be that it's a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. And at the beginning, you're full of energy because you've just started this journey and you're so excited. And it's very easy to get burnt out and not really pace yourself so that you're in it for the long run.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for our audience for listening. You've been listening to Entrepreneurs Talk Africa at the Christmas Bazaar, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Thank you for having watched this episode of the Christmas season of Entrepreneurs Talk Africa. If you liked it, please click on the like button below and share it with your fellow entrepreneurs and managers. It means a lot to us. Thank you. From all of us at Entrepreneurs Talk Africa, we wish you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.